Just then there came a tremendous noise of galloping feet from outside the cave. "What's that?" Sophie cried. "That is all the giants, zip-fizzing off to another country to guzzle human beans," the BFG said. He quickly popped Sophie into his waistcoat pocket, then hurried to the cave entrance and rolled back the stone. Sophie, peeping out of her spy-hole, saw all 9 of the fearsome giants coming past at full gallop. "Where's you off to tonight?" shouted the BFG. "We's all of us flash-bunking off to England tonight," answered the flesh lump eater as they went galloping past. "England is a luxurious land, and we is fancying a few nice little English chidlers." "I," shouted the maid-masher, "is knowing where there is a giggle house for girls, and I is guzzling myself full as a froth-blower." "And I knows where there's a boggle box for boys," shouted the gizzard gulper. "All I has to do is reach in and grab myself a handful. English boys is tasting extra lick-swishy." In a few seconds, the 9 galloping giants were out of sight. "What did he mean?" Sophie said, poking her head out of the pocket. "What is a giggle house for girls?" "He is meaning a girls' school. He'll be eating them by the bundle." "Oh, no!" cried Sophie. "And boys from a boys' school." "It mustn't happen," Sophie cried out. "We've got to stop them." "There's not a thing we can do. We is helpless as horse feathers." The BFG sat down on a large, craggy blue rock near the entrance to his cave. He took Sophie from his pocket and put her beside him on the rock. "It's now quite safe for you to be outside." The sun had dipped below the horizon and it was getting dark. "We've absolutely got to stop them," Sophie cried. "Put me back in your pocket, quick, and we'll chase after them and warn everyone in England they're coming." "Redunculous and, possible. They is going 2 times as fast as me, and they is finishing their guzzle before we is halfway." "But we can't just sit here doing nothing. How many girls and boys are they going to eat tonight?"
Many," the BFG said, "but there's nothing I can do. If I wasn't a titchy little runty giant, only about 24 feet high, then I would be stopping them. But that is absolutely out of the window."
"Do you always know where they're going?"
"Always. Every night they is yelling at me as they go bootling past."
"I can't stand it. We've got to go after those brutes."
"No."
"We must. Oh, why won't you go?" The BFG sighed and shook his head firmly.
"I has told you 5 or 6 times, and the 3rd'll be the last. I is never showing myself to human beings."
"Why ever not?"
"If I do, they will be putting me in the zoo with all the jiggy rafts and caterpillars."
"Nonsense," Sophie said.
"And they will be sending you straight back to an orphanage. Grown-up human beings is not famous for their kindnesses."
"That simply isn't true. Some of them are very kind indeed."
"Who? Name one."
"The Queen of England," Sophie said.
"The flesh lump eater is longing dearly to guzzle her up," the BFG said, smiling a little now.
"Who? The Queen?" Sophie cried, aghast.
"Yes. Flesh lump eater says he's never eaten a queen, and he thinks perhaps she has an especially scrum-diddly-umptious flavour."
"How dare he?" Sophie was silent for a few moments. Then, suddenly, in a voice filled with excitement, she cried out, "I've got it! By golly, I think I've got it!"
"Got what?"
"The answer. We'll go to the Queen. It's a terrific idea. If I went and told the Queen about these disgusting man-eating giants, I'm sure she'd do something about it." The BFG looked down at her sadly and shook his head.
"She is never believing you."
"I think she would."
"Never. I has told you before that human beings is simply not believing in giants."
then it's up to us to find a way of making her believe in them.
And how is you getting in to see the Queen?
Now, hold on a sec. I've got another idea.
Your ideas is full of crodswoggle.
Not this one, Sophie said. You say that if we tell the Queen, she would never believe us?
Are you certain she wouldn't?
But we aren't going to tell her, Sophie said excitedly. We don't have to tell her. We'll make her dream it.
Well, that is an even more froth-bungling suggestion, the BFG said. Dreams is lots of fun, but nobody is believing in dreams either.
Don't you worry about that part of it. I can fix that.
Never can you fix it.
I can. I swear I can. But first of all, let me ask you a very important question. Can you make a person dream absolutely anything in the world?
Anything you like, the BFG said proudly.
If I said I wanted to dream that I was in a flying bathtub with silver wings, could you make me dream it?
I could.
But how? Sophie said. You obviously don't have exactly that dream in your collection.
I do not, the BFG said, but I could soon be mixing it up.
How could you mix it up?
It's a little bit like mixing a cake. If you was putting the right amounts of all the different things into it, you was making the cake come out any way you want. Sugary, spongy, curranty, Christmassy, or grub-switchy. Well, it's the same with dreams. I has dreams about bathtubs, lots of them. I has dreams about silver wings, I has dreams about flying. So all I has to do is mix those dreams together in the proper way, and I is very quickly making a dream where you is flying in a bathtub with silver wings.
I see what you mean. But I didn't know you could mix one dream with another.
Dreams like being mixed.
Right, said Sophie. Now then, do you have dreams about the Queen of England?
Lots of them.
And about giants?
Of course.
And about giants eating people?
Swiggles of them.
And about little girls like me?
Oh, those is the commonest of all. I has bottles and bottles of dreams about little girls.
And you could mix them all up, just as I want you to? Sophie asked, getting more and more excited.
Of course. But how is this helping us? I think you was barking up the wrong dog.
Now, hold on, Sophie said. Listen carefully. I want you to mix a dream which you will blow into the Queen of England's bedroom when she is asleep. And this is how it'll go.
Now, hang on a minute. How is I possibly going to get near enough to the Queen of England's bedroom to blow in my dream?
I'll tell you that later, Sophie said. For the moment, please listen carefully. Here is the dream I want you to mix. I want the Queen to dream that 9 disgusting giants, each one about 50 feet tall, are galloping to England in the night. She must dream their names as well. What are their names again?
Flesh lump eater, man hugger, bone cruncher, child chewer, meat dripper, gizzard gulper, maid masher, blood bottler, and the butcher boy.
Well, let her dream all those names, Sophie said, and let her dream that they will be creeping into England in the depths of the witching hour and snatching little boys and girls from their beds. And then the dream must say that when their tummies are full, they will be galloping back to giant country where no one can find them.
Well, is that all?
Certainly not, Sophie said. You must then explain to the Queen in her dream that there is a big friendly giant who can tell her where all those beasts are living, so that she can send her soldiers and her armies to capture them once and for all. And now let her dream one last and very important thing. Let her dream that there is a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill who will tell her where the big friendly giant is hiding.
Well, where is he hiding?
We'll come to that later. So the Queen dreams her dream, right?
Right, the BFG said.
Then she wakes up, and the first thing she thinks is, oh, what a horrid dream. I'm so glad it was only a dream. And then she looks up from her pillow, and what does she see?
What does she see?
She sees a little girl called Sophie sitting on her windowsill, right there in real life before her very eyes.
How is you going to be sitting on the Queen's windowsill, may I beg?
You are going to put me there. And that's the lovely part about it. If someone dreams that there is a little girl sitting on her windowsill, and then she wakes up and sees that the little girl really is sitting there, that is a dream come true, isn't it?
I is beginning to see what you is driving to. If the Queen is knowing that part of her dream is true, then perhaps she is believing the rest of it is true as well.
That's about it, Sophie said.
You said you is wanting the dream to say there is a big, friendly giant who is also going to talk to the Queen?
Absolutely, you must. You are the only one who can tell her where to find the other giants.
How is I meeting the Queen? Asked the BFG. I's not wanting to be shooted at by her soldiers.
The soldiers are only in the front of the palace, Sophie said. At the back there's a huge garden, and there are no soldiers in there at all. There's a very high wall, with spikes on it around the garden, to stop people climbing in. But you could simply walk over that.
How is you knowing all about this Queen's palace? The BFG asked.
Well, last year I was in a different orphanage. It was in London, and we used to go for walks all round there.
I is frightened of London.
Don't be, Sophie said. It's full of tiny, dark streets, and there are very few people about in the witching hour.
The BFG picked Sophie up between one finger and a thumb and placed her gently in the palm of the other hand. Is the Queen's palace very big?
Huge, Sophie said.
Then how is we finding the right bedroom?
That's up to you, Sophie said. You're supposed to be an expert at that sort of thing.
And you is absolutely sure the Queen will not put me in a zoo with all the catty piddlers?
Of course she won't, Sophie said. You'll be a hero, and you'll never have to eat snozcumbers again.
Sophie saw the BFG's eyes widen. He licked his lips. You mean it? You really mean it? No more disgustive snozcumbers?
You couldn't get one if you wanted to, Sophie said. Humans don't grow them.
That did it. The BFG got to his feet. When is you want me to mix this special dream?
Now, Sophie said. At once.
When is we going to see the Queen?
Tonight, as soon as you've mixed the dream.
Why such a flush-bunkin' flurry?
Well, if we can't save tonight's children, we can anyway save tomorrow's.
Then we'd better get crackling, the BFG said, moving back towards the cave.
Sophie kissed him on the tip of his thumb. I knew you'd do it,